Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear my voice and if you can see my face, that means we're back together for another episode of Firepitt. I am so excited. We've got the new company, we've got the new format, we've got new music every single week, and I've got my best friends, Jim Skiff and Devin Rush. And gentlemen, how are you tonight?
It's good to be back. I missed you guys the last couple of weeks. Sorry.
We missed you too, Devin. We know you were out performing and canvassing the Berg for more great music, and you brought us a wonderful guest for this evening.
Yeah, we featured on the show Sherry CD-ROM and their music a couple of times, but now we finally have them sitting down and have Sherry here for an interview. They are an electronic group from Pittsburgh, but as they describe themselves, mysterious transgender lesbian shareware. Members of the band feature Sherry as a songwriter who smells like grilled portobellos, aloof, gentle, deeply haunted, and thinks hell is a metaphor. And then we have Claire on electronics. Claire smells like a midday nap, lovable, intelligent, and loud, doesn't believe in hell. And CD-ROM is producer, smells like gasoline, curious, lonely, and intense, and knows for a fact hell is real. Welcome to the show, Cherry. I'm so glad to have you here.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is going to be great.
So talk to us, give us a little bit about your history, how you got into music, and how Sherry CD-ROM came about.
Sure. So I've been making music for as long as I can remember. When I was like 15, I played my first show. It was an open mic back where I grew up in the middle of nowhere. I did terribly. The sound was all awful. The songs weren't good, but it instilled something really special in me, and I never stopped doing it. And I'm no more bands than I can count, and I've written probably 20 or 25 albums worth of material throughout all of those different bands.
Wow.
Sherry CD-ROM is the latest, and it's something I've really always wanted to do, which is my last couple of projects are very experimental, very off the wall, like 10-minute long, deep, weird, bizarre songs about death with 10 different instruments, and it was great. I really enjoyed doing it, but I wanted to do something approachable, something where I can take my ideas and focus them, and Claire helps me do that, and CD-ROM helps me do that.
So you do poppy songs about death now?
Yeah, now it's poppy songs about that.
And how long has Sherry CD-ROM been together?
We have been together since the beginning of 2022, so we're still pretty new.
And I noticed that you and Claire share the same last name.
Yes.
Is there a relationship there of some kind?
We are married. Claire and I are married.
That's cool. And how does that work out? I know Megan is married to one of her musical collaborators, and my wife and I did a lot of performing together as well. How does that partnership work out in the musical end?
It's really great. It's a natural partnership, of course. So I think she understands me better than anybody else does, and she also knows how to tell me when I'm wrong, which I think, I don't know if I'm very intimidating, but I think people are sometimes intimidated by me for some reason. I think that it's hard to tell anyone, especially someone who's a little intimidating, hey, this doesn't work. This song is not good in its current state. And she's not afraid to do that, which is the most important thing. If there's something in a song that just doesn't work, she'll tell me this doesn't work. And that is so valuable in a bandmate. And, like I said, I've been in countless bands. It's rare.
How does the collaboration actually take place? Do you write the lyrics? Does she write lyrics? Do you write them together? How does the music come out of your idea?
So we're very much like a songwriting team. So basically, we'll come up with an idea. Pretty much every song has come from a conversation we've had about just an idea or a concept. And then we develop that. Usually the first draft of the lyrics is me. We'll edit it together. And she does a lot of the electronics and production and stuff like that. We arrange it together too, very much, So it's very collaborative the whole way down. I don't think I could really do it without her.
Do the lyrics come first? Does the music come first, or do they come sort of together at the same time?
I'm a music first person. Very much so. Very much so. Usually we'll have like some basic loop of like, this is kind of what the verse is like, this is kind of what the chorus is like, this is kind of what this is like, recorded, and we will sing nonsense over it until something sounds right. You hear a word here or there, or a phrase, or a turn of a melody, and it goes from there. So improvisational in a lot of ways.
And a lot of the lyrics seem to be kind of on the dark side, which I appreciate. It seems like there's a really interesting contrast between the dark lyrics and really a lovely, beautiful kind of ambient musical texture, which really creates an interesting tension that I personally enjoy very much. Are you guys like poetically inclined? Are you like Sylvia Plath aficionados or something?
I do like poetry. I like a lot of poetry, and I write a lot of poetry, and I'm very poetically inclined. I see everything in metaphors. I'm not a very literal person, but Claire's a very literal person. We balance each other out in that way. Yeah, very poetically inclined, I would say.
So as for the electronics, I want to talk about I want to get a little nerdy with you. I see all those keyboards lined up. So you said it's kind of improvisational, but then once you have the construction of the song, do you go back in and add stuff on? Because some of your stuff is pretty dense with effects and noise going on. So like, how does that done?
Basically, like the initial demo that we're kind of improvising over, that gets totally written over. It's like what's it called? A ship of Theseus,
Yeah,
you
nice.
change every part,
Yeah,
and before you know it, it's something totally different. But yeah, I got a couple of keyboards here, and I've got some more. This is a Mini Brute 2. It's a really cool synth that Claire got me. And then this is a Studio Logic compact keyboard. Really nice keyboard. Super underrated. Nobody talks about Studio Logic. But actually, most of the synths in that are software synths. A lot of soft synths. But there is... I use this thing a lot. This is the Micro Freak by Arturia also. This is the coolest synth in the world. I think everybody should have one. It is my favorite synth. A lot of sounds are from this.
Nice.
I'm an idiot. You said Micro Freak, and I go, that's what they called me in college. That's neat, though. I've never seen one of those tiny little synth boards before. That's cool.
Oh, they're so cool. And it's got this thing where you wiggle your finger, and that can change the tone of it.
Ooh, cool.
Makes you play very differently from a keyboard. Very fun.
On the keys you can do that, or there's a knob for that?
Oh, on the keys.
Oh, wow.
That's
I see. Oh, I see. They're flat, like almost kind of like okay. Yeah, that's neat. That's very cool. Yeah.
And because I actually don't understand that much about synthesis, which is funny because it's such synth-heavy music. But that I can understand. Like, I can't necessarily understand, like, moving all the cables and the patch cables and every knob, what it does. But I can understand, wiggling my fingers and tweaking a knob or two or a wheel or two. But I don't know what a lot of it actually does. I don't have a technical knowledge of it. I have sort of a artistic knowledge of it. Maybe.
Well, that's okay. That's what Bowie would do. He would open up the keyboards and throw away the directions. So he'd have to figure it out himself. So you're kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So
that
talk
makes
to
me
us.
feel so much better. I'm so sorry to interrupt there. That makes me feel so much better. I'm so bad at knowing all the jargon and stuff. That's why Guitar Center won't ever hire me.
Jerry, I wondered what your musical background is. Are you pretty much self-taught? A lot of the fills and the runs that I hear in your music, it sounds very much like jazz informed, kind of even like fusion. Where do you have like a background or training in jazz, or is it just something you've acquired?
I think that's funny you noticed that. So when I was a kid, I studied piano, and I studied jazz piano under somebody who was really, really good at it. But in the area, it was like really cool guy. Arthur Goldstein was his name. He was great. Studied with him as a teenager and learned jazz piano for my whole middle school up until, I turned 18. Obviously don't play jazz piano, but like you said, I incorporate it in little ways. Everything else, though, is self-taught. So while I think I'm pretty good at piano, guitar is totally self-taught, bass is totally self-taught.
And you play bass for Westinghouse Atom Smasher as well, right?
I do. I play bass in Westinghouse Atom Smasher. And when I joined that band, I did not know how to play the bass. And I showed up to practice like just having taught myself, hopefully, the fundamentals
nice.
The first day. And now I'm okay at it after doing it for 3 years. But,
I can't remember what band, but there was a band that, one of the old rock bands, it was just like that. He came in and they taught him how to play the bass because he had the look for the 80s hair metal, if you will. I'm going to get off this meeting and then it's gonna hit me like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, oh my God, I
Close.
remember now. Trying to splice it in, but yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, I fly by the seat of my pants. That's how I got to do it.
So
Thank you,
Sherry,
Devin.
are you saying that you play all the instruments on these tracks that we're going to listen to tonight?
Mostly, yeah. A little bit of it is played by CD-ROM, and a little bit of it is played by Claire. But the majority of like instruments, that's me.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So let's talk about Demo, your first album with the song Stage Dive. Give us a little insight into that.
So I wanted it to be, like I said, like I was doing this experimental music for a long time, and I wanted always to make a pop album and to just make something that's approachable and that people can instantly hear and be like, this makes sense to me, but still expressing the things I want to express just in like an approachable way. And that's where Demo Disc came from. We released it in a goofy way, which is one song at a time. Just like every song was a single, made a blowout, made an event out of it. Every time a song came out, it was like, new songs out. This is a big deal. We're going to make videos. We're going to have all this promotion, and I think people really liked that, are doing it now. We're still doing that. Every time we release a song, we make a big deal out of it because they're all important to me. They're like, they're like my babies. Just collected all of those songs. I wasn't thinking about it in forms of an album. Like we were really just thinking about songs. But then when it all came together, we were like, it's more perfect than we ever could have planned as an album, I think.
Well, I think a lot of artists are doing that these days, releasing a single as it's done. And then, once you get a bunch of them together, you call it an album, and you take all the accumulated tracks from your singles and add them onto your album, and away you go. And I think it's a smart way to market and to release new material.
Yeah, I think it's super smart. I think that I've seen a couple of other bands doing it. I think it's the future of how we do it, honestly. Of just, hey, a song's done, put it out. And I'm a strong believer in like, just put it out is like my motto, honestly. Like if you have a demo that's pretty good, rather than sitting on it for 6 months trying to find, the perfect sound for everything, just release it. I think people will like it. And then if you want to do a better version a couple months from now, do it.
I've definitely, as an individual musician, have found myself kind of trying to hurdle that obstacle myself. I have songs that I still haven't recorded, and I've been sitting on them for 6-7 years because I haven't found the things that I want to make out of it. And I have this home studio that I do all this radio stuff with, but I bought it so that I could record music, and I really haven't. So one of my goals into going into 2025 is to kind of do that, just sit behind the DAW and figure out what I can do and just put it out there and see what happens. So
yeah,
I look to folks like you for inspiration, for the confidence of just letting music happen and enjoying it while it is. So thank you.
Yeah, if nothing else, I hope to inspire people to just make stuff and release it. Just make stuff. If you have the capacity to make anything, just make it, because it's not doing nobody no good if it's just sitting on a hard drive.
Amen.
Do you record at home, Sherry?
I record them all right here.
Wow.
The mic is right here out of camera. So is a plushie. And yeah, everything is right here.
That's some serious talent, and I think this is a perfect way to take a moment to listen to one of your songs. We've mentioned Stage Dive, so I think that's a really great place to start. Any shout-outs, notable mentions about this song before we give folks an opportunity to listen?
Well, I do want to say this song is about Claire. So while you're listening to it, think of her.
Gotta love that. Well, folks, I think this is a perfect moment to say, let's take a listen to Stage Dive by Sherry CD-ROM.
Eager for my entrance, tapping my feet a bit, rushing through the monologue. Every morning's my big scene, my stage all waxed and clean. Yeah. Apart. I'm not playing in stereo, all in one cacophony. I don't need to win awards, I just hope you hit record. I don't need to prove myself to no one. I won't explain myself, I will not apologize. I did not write this story, but I still believe my lines. Ruining everything, making a mockery. I'm going rogue and off book. Every rule I gave myself turned out to all be crap. Imminently self-actualizing. Can you picture that? Picture that. You're stunning. You look so cool. I'm happy to see what tomorrow You're stunning. You're stunning. You look so cool. You look so cool. You look so cool. Cool. You look so cool.
That was Stage Dive by Sherry CD-ROM. I'm so glad we're hanging out here together, getting to know each other, meeting Sweet Baby Ray, the amazing fur baby, talking about your music and your methods of going about making this. You just mentioned to us you do all the recording at home. The music is really seriously top quality. So kind of walk us through what you do as an engineer to make these songs sound the way they do.
Taught at piano. Everything else is self-taught. So production is self-taught too. People are surprised when I told them that because they're like, oh, it's pretty good production. You got to understand, I've written like 25 albums. So at some point you have to, like, it's the same thing as throwing yourself in. When I was learning bass, I threw myself in the deep end with producing music. I didn't know anything. And now I have my own methods. And my friends who went to music school don't understand what I'm doing at all and constantly telling me that, like, that's not how you do it. But if that works, that works, you know? Yeah, it's all trial and error, really.
What program do
Believe
you
it.
use?
I use a DAW called Reason, which nobody
Okay.
uses Reason.
I've never even heard of Reason. Yeah.
I've
don't know
met
what
maybe
that
one
is.
or two people who've used it. I didn't realize that Reason was still on the market.
It is still around, and there are still people using it, and they're weirdos like me. I think the advantage of using it is there's a lot of very strange soft synths built into it. Like very just weird physical modeling and bizarre kind of triple FM synthesis or whatever. Just weird stuff. And it's very inspirational for me. But it also has really a design decision that baffles most, which is to connect devices together, drag a virtual picture of a cable from the slot into the other slot, like a little animated cable. And it's so stupid. But just the way my brain works, I need that. I need to, well, it's plugged in here. So that's how you know it's working.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
It's a literal plug-in. That's funny.
Yeah. And, you know, it's always just worked for me. But the other thing is, when I was like 15, writing music in my room, I had a pirated copy of Reason for some reason. That's all I had. And maybe it was more popular at the time. I don't know. Have used it ever since. You know, I'm a loyal customer at this point.
Get yourself some frequent Reason miles, I suppose.
They should sponsor me.
All right, there you go. Get an endorsement.
Well, Sherry, I just wanted to say I really enjoyed this particular track. It has such an affirming message and a lot of swag built into it, and kind of a smoky R&B vibe that I really kind of dug. Do you have like some R&B artists you like to listen to? Where does that influence come from?
The funny thing is, you know, I'm making this pop music, and like you said, it's kind of, there's some R&B, there's some stuff like that. I don't listen to a lot of pop music or a lot of R&B, really. I'm pulling from maybe a cultural idea of what pop music could or is supposed to be, and kind of trying to do my own thing with it. That kind of makes me an outsider artist in a way, because I don't really listen to the stuff that I'm making, and I'm just doing my own thing over here. But it is based on nothing in particular. It's just based on, I don't know, perhaps what I imagine pop music is. You know what I mean?
Well, however it comes about, I think it's a really cool synthesis of genres and has a lot of crossover potential. And it's really interesting to listen to and very hooky as well. A lot of the parts that you write end up as earworms, and they're extremely effective. And I think it's kind of a gift, really.
Well, thank you very much. That means a lot to me. That's very sweet.
I don't mean to call anybody into question here, but what exactly does CD-ROM do?
So CD-ROM does all the production and mixing and stuff, because
Okay.
I don't know how to do that. Luckily, CD-ROM is a computer, so she's able to handle all of that stuff.
And where did the decision come from to call yourself Sherry CD-ROM?
There's a lot of different versions of this origin story, but the simplest one is, my name is Sherry, and there's another band member named CD-ROM.
I think we're gonna need it a little more. Come on.
Yeah, you did origin story. I was
That was
ready to
a little
grab
too
the
easy.
popcorn.
Yeah.
If you really want to know, this is before CD-ROM was born. We were tossing together names. I knew that I wanted it to be Sherry and something. Really, I just I like the idea of a CD-ROM because it's multimedia, and that's something very important to this project, is that it is interactive. I'm very, very active on social media. Anytime anybody says or interacts or does something in any way, it's going to naturally turn into inspiration for a song or something like that, or a video or something else. Rather than trying to fight against that, I decided to embrace it. Hey, whenever someone on social media has an idea for something or has input or has some kind of interaction, like, let's make that a thing. So the interactive nature, I think, is where CD-ROM comes from.
Which kind of leads me to another question: the way you release your music, because you don't just do it digitally. You've actually done some pretty interesting things, like Game Boy cartridges, right?
We have done Game Boys.
And those have sold out. Like, what made you think to do that? Why did you do that? And
I got one, if you can see it. There it is. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Where did that come from? Well, I think it comes out of a sense of wanting to try new things. So when you release 25 albums, you get a little tired of doing tapes and CDs. And I really wanted to do something no other band was doing. It took a lot of research to figure out how to make them. But like you said, they sold out. They were fun. I don't know how we're going to top it is the issue. We considered for the next album putting it out on Hit Clips. If you remember Hit Clips.
Oh my God, please, can I please get a Sherry CD-ROM hit clips? I'll pay top dollar.
So we were doing research. There's people online who have made the blueprints. I don't know if blueprints is the right word, but the schematics of it and reverse engineered it. I really thought about it. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe. We joke about it, though.
If you ever want to put that into play, I got a 3D printer. We can make it happen.
So talk to us a little bit about Leave a Note. This is a really kind of a love song from, I don't know, beyond maybe, like we're thinking about the afterlife. Beautiful, dreamy landscape type of song. Talk to us about that one.
So you're right. It is kind of a love song from the beyond. So it is based off of something I really do, which is every month or two, write a note in my phone. If something horrible were to happen to me, I'd want people I love to find it and just be like, hey, here's what's going on in my life right now. Here's what's important to me. Here's what I care about. Almost like a journal. But you always see in movies, they have like a last letter of somebody. And it's morbid. I know it's morbid. But it's kind of therapeutic to do it every month, to be like, oh, I'll write a several-page letter talking about where I'm at in my life, and something horrible happens, then it'll be found. I've been doing that for a long time. I never really thought to write a song about it, but Claire and I were talking about it, and I thought there was something there. There could be a pop song about it.
I love that. That's kind of like a in real life P.S. I love you type story in a really beautiful modern type pop music type of way. It's really cool.
No, thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to make that one, and I think a couple people reached out and they really connected to it.
Well, I know that I'm going to love it, and our listeners are going to love it as well as our viewers, because we are in face now. I'm still getting used to saying that. Folks, let's go ahead and take a listen to Leave a Note by Sherry CD-ROM.
Take the clothes that I have worn, the scramble the scent I leave behind. It's alright. You'll find something I left for you. A picture that I drew. Leave a note if you're able to, just in case. Give me something to cry into as I think of you. Tell me what you'd have been if you had the time to be everything that you'd wanted to be. I wanna kiss where everyone can see. I don't care where the boundaries lie. I don't wanna know how much time we have to live this life together. Every day it just gets that much better. I don't want any alone time. I just wanna be next to you. I'll leave a note when I'm able. You can keep it on your bedside table. Eureka! Oh, I know just what to say to you. Back from the afterlife for a good 2 minutes with a timely message. Oh, I'd never thought I'd need to write this down. Oh, if I don't come home one day, just know I've thought about you. Leave a note if you're able to, just in case. Give me something to cry into as I think of you. Tell me what you'd have been if you'd had the time to be everything that you wanted to be. I don't care where the boundaries lie. I don't wanna know how much time we have to live this life together. Every day it just gets that much better. I don't want any alone time. I just wanna be next to you. I'll leave a note when I'm able. You can keep it on your bedside table. Come on now, don't be afraid of what it says.
Hey, how's the new business coming along?
Oh, it's going all right. We're doing well. I feel like we could be doing better. We don't have the constant stream of customers, and we don't really get many out-of-towners.
Well, how are you advertising?
We're getting billboards and radio ads.
Dude, it's the 21st century. Stop acting like you're selling typewriters.
What do you mean?
The internet, man. Listen, I know the spot. Let me see your phone real quick.
What's Scarfire Media?
It's the hottest new media company. It's small time like your shop, but they could sell coal to Newcastle, especially since people in Newcastle can hear it anytime they want. And Paris, and Rio. Heck, someone in Mongolia could hear your ad.
We're a small business, though. I don't know if we could afford something that amazing.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Scarfire Media knows the struggles of being a small business owner. They're all independently owned. They got the best rates around. Only $40 a month to run an ad that they make for you custom made.
$40 a month? Well, you've convinced me. Where do I sign up?
All you gotta do is send an email to Megan, no H, Pennington at scarfireradio.net and tell them everything that you want included in your ad. And if you think it's awesome, they're willing to make a trade for the ad that you can use anywhere you'd like.
Wow, that's amazing. Hey, I'll catch up with you. Let me type up this email real quick.
I figured you might say that. Scarfire Media. Embrace human creativity. I will never understand why I can't get my music out there.
It's not as hard as you think.
What are you talking about? All I ever do is gig and spend all of my free time on social media. And I don't even know what Twitter is.
Okay, Boomer, calm down. I have an easy solution and it won't cost much.
Cost? No, that sounds shady.
You can't expect to make any money without spending a little, do you?
I mean, I guess you're right. All right, lay it on me.
Scarfire Media has a podcast network that streams all over the world. They interview musicians fans and help them get their stories heard.
Wait a minute, and they make you pay to be on their podcast network?
No, silly. Listen, you're able to buy ad space.
What would I need to do?
Just send an email to Megan Pennington at scarfireradio.net and include the information you want promoted. New releases, upcoming shows, or even just a hey, look at me. Scarfire runs them all. Ad space goes for only $40 a month, and your ad will run on every Scarfire podcast. And they'll make up a video ad for their video episodes. It's a total win.
All right, I'm in. First stop Scarfire Media, next stop the world.
Oh, crab apples.
There you have it, folks. That was Leave a Note by Sherry CD-ROM. Sherry, I want to say thank you for allowing us to spin these 3 tracks tonight. Your music is absolutely fantastic. I've been introduced to your stuff because of Devin in the past, and getting to chat with you tonight, listening to the tracks, getting to meet Sweet Baby Ray. It's been such a blessing. So much fun, and I do hope that I get to chat with the rest of the crew at some point very soon. Before we let you walk out the door, though, of course, this is the time for you to tell us about the new music coming out, new shows, anything that you'd like to tell our listeners here that you got going on.
We got a lot going on. I'll be happy to talk about it. And thank you for the kind words. Happy to bring these songs in. We have an upcoming show on Friday, the 13th, the 15th, something like that?
13th.
13th at
Friday the 13th.
Yes, on Friday the 13th. We are filming a music video at that show. So if you'd like to be in a music video, come to the show. Don't have to worry. You won't have to do much or anything. I'll tell you where to stand. I'll tell you what to do. It's super easy. And we're going to play a couple of songs as well as filming the video. We have a house show coming up in January, playing a few out-of-town shows in the spring. We're going to Chicago, and we have several new songs in the pipeline. I'm going against my own advice. They're sitting on my hard drive. Nearly done. But they will come out very shortly. We're coordinating with artists to do album covers for them and everything. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So lots of new music coming out. Best way to find out about it is to follow on Instagram and TikTok.
Actually, speaking of social media, I had mentioned to you before we did the interview about how active you are on social media, definitely talking about trans issues and political issues and stuff like that. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how that affects you as a musician, how the changing climate has affected you as a person. Like, just give us a little bit of insight to that.
Oh, yeah. It has affected music in a lot of ways, a lot of positive, a lot of negative. So like you said, because of social media, we've met a lot of amazing people we wouldn't have otherwise met. We've also had some negative experiences. So I've had to turn on my TikTok to approve all comments, because if we don't, like, there was a video we posted recently, tangentially mentioned trans issues, 5,000 comments that were just the ones that were blocked by the filter.
It's ridiculous.
Like, people online are quite charged about this issue right now, and it shouldn't really have to be an issue, but unfortunately it is. That's just the landscape that we have to deal with. So face the negative with the positive, and there is so much positive. Like, there has been a really great outpouring of support and wonderful, interesting people that we've met thanks to this. Yeah, absolutely changed my life coming out.
I just want to say your music is so interesting, it's so unique, it's so different, and we love it here, and we're so glad that we've had a chance to share it in the past and share it again, and I hope you keep making more music. That's just...
As somebody who is a part of the LGBT community myself, I have always been a humongous advocate for creating a safe space for artists of all kinds, and that's why Scarfire Radio made the transition to Scarfire Media. We're not just helping musicians nowadays, we're helping artists of all kinds. We're going to be getting into film, into physical art and things like that. So I'm really, really glad that we are able to make these connections, and if there's anything you ever need to, gain a platform or a following, or even just hands on deck for events, you give me a call and we'll give you everything we can.
It means so much to me. Thank you so much. I definitely will.
Well, folks, I think with that, this is a perfect moment to say thank you for tuning in for another episode of Firepitt and all things Scarfire Media. If you haven't had an opportunity to check out the new website, please do so. We've got so many great things, including the Independent Musicians Catalog, where you can have yourself listed for venues to find you, as well as find a venue, where we have venues listed for you to find venues that have been confirmed to book independent music so you could find yourself some paid gigs. We've got some other really great things coming your way as well. So stay in the loop. Scarfire Media on all streaming and social media platforms. In the meantime, between time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you and goodbye. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay safe. We are going to take a listen to Fleeting Moment, and I just realized I didn't ask you about the song, Sherry, so tell me about Fleeting Moment before I properly say goodbye, because I don't want to just listen to this without getting the full experience.
I'll give you just the context behind it. So, the phrase "fleeting moment" comes from, I had an album that I released in probably 2013 or 20, I don't know, even before that, maybe. Someone bought on Bandcamp just a week before I wrote this song. And they used the phrase "fleeting moment" in the review. And I thought, what an interesting turn of phrase. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I tried to imagine a fleeting moment, and it's about time, I suppose. It's about time passing, and it's about knowing, that I've done this for so long, and I continue to find new inspiration and new feelings from it, and I probably always will.
I love that. I'm glad I stopped myself because I needed to hear that. What's that old saying, Jim? Once in a while you get shown the light in the strangest of places if you look at it right.
Absolutely. And I think that Sherry has been shining a beautiful light. This whole issue of transgender and LGBTQ rights has only recently been won in our nation, and to see the current situation where it's threatened, it's really upsetting, and to me, it's un-American. And I applaud you for your literacy and also for standing up for civil rights. And that's really what truly makes America great. And I just want to thank you for everything that you do, and thank you for the opportunity of hearing your music and your powerful message.
Well, thank you so much. That really means a lot. I hope to, more than anything, I hope to inspire young trans artists that, hey, you can be out here and be open about this and be doing it out here, and nobody can stop you.
See that, folks? Superheroes don't just wear capes, they have amazing wing jobs as well. With that, stay healthy, stay happy, stay safe. Most importantly, folks, on your way to Scarface's. Peace and love. Here comes Fleeting Moment by Sherry CD-ROM.
Lights future.